Well, for our listeners, PathMonk is the intelligent tool for website lead generation. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition online. PathMonk qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50%. Add PathMonk to your website in seconds. Let the AI do all the work and get access to 50% more qualified leads while you keep doing marketing and sales as usual. Check us on pathmonk.com. Welcome to today's episode. Let's talk about today's guest. We have Pam Dittner, B2B marketing consultant, author, speaker, and a podcaster. Great to have you on today, Pam. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for having me, Ernesto. So happy to be here.
It's great to have you on, and well, excited to learn a little bit more about yourself and what you're doing. So let's give the listeners why they're tuning in your own words. Can you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, very quickly. Hey, everyone. Pam Dittner here. I'm a B2B marketing consultant, and only thing I do is B2B marketing, and that's why I live and breathe. And my job is to make the B2B marketers rock stars for their companies by bringing the sales and marketing together. So a lot of stuff I do is demand gen, kind of like Ernesto, your company. And at the same time, I work very closely with the marketing team so they can collaborate wonderfully, if you will, with the sales team.
That's great to hear, right? There's always that little fight internally between sales and marketing. So to bring them together, that's great to hear. And so that way our listeners could get a good understanding of your company. Pam, what would you say is one of the key problems that you like to solve for your clients?
I think the biggest problem, there are two, if you will. And number one is basically how to execute their marketing plan and with specific marketing stacks they have. So a lot of time, I think the company can actually put a solid marketing plan, but to do demand gen, to do actually marketing outreach, to do inbound marketing, outbound marketing, or any sort of marketing effort, you need to build the back-end marketing integration. You probably know that very well. And the one things I do is actually working very closely with my clients in the trenches and try to get at that. The other one is set up a process that they can work very closely with their sales team. So whatever their sales team are doing, make sure that they bring the marketing along with them. Nowadays, especially on the B2B side, the sales cycle tend to be longer than usual. With that being said, there's a lot of things that the marketing team can do to better support their sales team.
Definitely awesome to hear that. So then, is there a typical vertical B2B? Is there an ideal ICP that you like going for?
Great. I love your questions. ICP, ideal customer profile. In general, the companies I serve tend to be a tech segment and tend to be mid-sized company and enterprises. I also work very closely with the financial industries and also manufacturing segments. And the financial industry and manufacturing segments tend to be, that their clients tend to be on the B2B side of things, except the commercial, the consumer banking, if you will. So working with the tech segment, manufacturing segment, and also the financial segment tend to be the verticals that I focus on, or the people that reach out to me.
Definitely. All right. And so how would these tech companies, manufacturing companies, finance companies, how would they usually find out about you, Pam? Is there a top client acquisition channel for you?
That's actually a great question. And as a marketer, I also try different channels and to see what actually works. The key thing is obviously, as you know, that we do a lot of pay. Marketers, especially within the company, they do a lot of pay. They also do a lot of organic. And I don't do a lot of pay. Therefore, the things I do is I usually do organic outreach and a very targeted outreach. That's number one. And second thing I do is I make sure I optimize my website and with the keywords and of the services that I offer. And I create content and I share the content out directly. And so that is kind of like my the echo chamber. It's not echo chamber, that's the wrong word, to amplify in terms of my expertise. So it's drive the traffic or share my content out, and then they can come back and check out my website and see that what I offer, and if this is something that I can do for them, if you will. The top acquisition channel, that is very interesting, given that I don't do pay. And I would say LinkedIn is probably my top acquisition channel. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Great to hear that. LinkedIn is where it's at, right? A lot of people are on there. So awesome to hear that from you as a marketer. And so that way our listeners who are tuned in could go ahead and visit you on your website. You could always check her out at pamdittner.com. What role does the website play for client acquisition, Pam?
Oh my God, huge. I think having a well-designed and well-articulated website is super important. Imagine that you have a prospect, right? And they would like to find you. Nowadays, how do they find you? They have to Google search. They do search. Well, now they probably can use ChatGPT too. Ha ha ha. But anyway, the key thing is because they need to know who you are, especially a stranger, a prospect. So the only way they know who you are is go to your website. So your website needs to be very buttoned up. That's from my perspective as a company or as an individual consultant. That's a minimal requirement. Actually has a well done website. And the website serve as kind of, from my perspective, the top of the funnel, the middle of the funnel, and also the bottom of the funnel. What I meant by that is when people come to your website, they don't know you, it's the top of the funnel. So you have the information to show them who you are. Mm-hmm. You also need to give them the middle of the funnel, especially how to, you have some content to share with them in terms of what they can do, themselves if they don't use you. So that's kind of like middle of the funnel. And the bottom of the funnel is they contact you directly and they want to talk to you, right? So to me, that the website plays a massive client acquisition for me, especially I don't do pay.
That's something important. All right. And so on that note, then, is there any tools, tips, or methods that you would recommend to our listeners as far as some website lead generation?
That's a great question. I think there are so many things you can do on your website. If you think about website as a blank canvas, right? So it's kind of like a painting you want to do. You can determine how do you want to paint and what kind of theme that will be. So there's many ways from my perspective that you can actually add to the website. But you need to be very intentional and purposeful in terms of what you want to add to your website. So you don't add so many things in the website and then people go there and they go, oh, I'm kind of lost. I don't know what you are offering. So you don't want to add that kind of confusion. So you need to find the balance in terms of what you want to do, what you want to say. At the same time, don't add too much. And I don't know how to tell anybody specifically how to find that balance. A lot of time is a gut check. The key thing is, can you articulate very clearly in terms of what you offer and who you are and what you do clearly on your website, right? If you can convince yourself on that, that's a first step in terms of getting a prospect to get in touch with you.
Definitely important. Thank you so much for sharing that with us for our listeners as well, Pam.
You're welcome.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about you as a leader. What are some key tasks you like to focus on your day-to-day work?
All right. Because I'm an individual consultant, so there are a couple things I need to do on a daily basis. Number one is I have to do outreach. So I usually kind of look into a LinkedIn. I know who my ICP is, Ernesto, get back to your questions, ideal customer profile, and who are the type of people I need to reach out. So I usually will do a limited outreach, very selective. Okay. And very selective actually on LinkedIn. So number one things I would do is outreach. And I try to do that every day, but most of the time, depending on if I have time or not, it's not my favorite task, if you will. And the other thing I do is I create content. So I write blog posts and I also create videos. If you are interested in anything B2B marketing related, check out my blog post or subscribe on my YouTube channel. And so I do create content. Then the third things I do is the client projects. I take on client projects. I always make sure I allocate time to work on the client project. So the bottom line is I have time set up to do pipeline outreach, to build your pipeline. I also have time to set up to create content. And then, of course, working on existing client projects.
Definitely important. All right, great to hear that from you, Pam. And so then, through all this, I mean, like you mentioned, right? You're busy all day. How do you stay up to date with all the overwhelming marketing information out there in today's world? Is there a preferred channel that you like to go through?
That's actually great questions because I speak, so I go to conferences, and nowadays everybody have a short attention span. I don't know about you guys. I mean, after a little while, I'm just tired of reading blog posts. Even when I said that, I don't know why I'm still creating blog posts. I assume someone else will read it. But what I really enjoy doing of getting up to date on the technologies and also the overall trend is attending conferences. And I think that's still a great way to get away from your day-to-day jobs and be somewhere and then just, have a day or two to really trying to consume other people's content or see what other people say about some of the topics or the challenges you encounter. So attending conference is one of them. The other one is obviously watching videos, which is great. And the other thing is actually just search the keywords on the topics I want to find out more on the YouTube channels. And watching video is also another option of learning new technologies and also challenges that I would like to address.
Absolutely important. All right, great. Thank you so much for sharing that information with us. And well, let's jump to our next section here, Pam, which is our rapid fire question rounds. Are you ready for them?
Yeah.
All right. First off, then, what is the last book that you read?
I read actually a novel called Concerning My Daughter by a South Korean author. It's actually about mother-daughter relationship. Well written. Kind of sad, but well written.
Okay. All right. Next is, if there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be that one thing that you want to have fixed for your role as a marketer today?
Find out who my buyers are. If the technology, there's AI, there's a robot, or there's a super brain that's just smart, I can brief them and they can automatically identify who the buyers are. That would be fantastic.
Definitely. All right. Perfect. Awesome for that. Definitely would want something like that as well. And next is, what is one single thing that you're focused on at the moment the most?
At this point, I'm actually writing a fictional novel. Don't ask me why. So I'm trying to finish that novel. That's what I'm working on in addition to everything else I'm doing.
Awesome. That's great to hear. Hopefully when it comes out, let us know so that way we could take a read at that.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Next up then is, if there's one repetitive task that you could automate, what would that be?
I would say, I don't know. Let me think about this. Just 1 second. I would actually said that working on all the tedious tasks, like accounting and also calendaring, all the booking, and also the simple emails that say AI can or any kind of tools can help me to reply.
Definitely. Okay. Great to hear that. And well, lastly, I mean, Pam, you have a lot of experience already, but what is that one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you were to restart your journey as a marketer today?
That is a great question. And I would tell myself, be very, very patient. And when I started, I kind of want to build Rome, like in less than 10 months. And you cannot build Rome or anything in 10 months. It takes time to build something is wonderful, and just be patient about it and work on a baby step at a time and don't rush. And I had a tendency to rush things. And that created a lot of confusion, mistakes. And I wish I could slow down when I started and then be very thoughtful about what I wanted to do. And that is one thing I would have told myself. 10 years ago.
Definitely important. So great advice for not just for myself, but for all our listeners as well. Thanks so much, Pam. And well, we are coming to the end of today's podcast, Pam. But before we do end, I do want to give you the last word. If someone forgets everything about the interview today, what is that one thing they should remember about your company?
Well, marketing takes a lot of time. And if you have any questions about marketing, demand gen, and that you want to talk about, you reach out to me anytime. So
awesome. Well, you guys heard it. You could always visit her at pamdittner.com. Also on LinkedIn, same name. Pam, thank you so much for being on with us today. And to our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm looking forward to our next episode at Pathmonk Presents. Thanks a lot, Pam.
thanks so much for having me. Take care. Bye.